Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. So, what are some things that you can do to recession-proof, tariff-proof, possible shortage-proof your household? Now, obviously, we cannot really completely proof ourselves for those things because a lot of it is beyond our control. But I would really encourage you guys to go back and look at my videos, especially like from 2020, 2021, when we were in the pandemic and we were dealing with shortages. First and foremost, take a deep breath. Just okay. Try to stay rational. We do not need to panic. That is first and foremost. And secondly, something that I say quite a bit, I haven't said it in a while, but I have said it quite a bit in other videos. If you are the type of person that is easily upset, easily disturbed, easily angered, easily, I hate to say this, manipulated, maybe the news is not for you right now. Like maybe a little bit and then turn it off. But if you are in any of those categories, you don't need to be sitting when you get home from work watching the news for 5 and 6 hours because it's going to upset you. Now, I do believe that we should stay informed and know what is going on, but we don't need to listen to 5 and 6 hours of the economy is in the toilet. And I don't know if anyone has said that, but you know what I mean? Like, how are we going to keep a positive outlook and stay reasonable if that's what we're hearing? So when you hear negative and you hear scary things, then it puts you in that mindset. And there's a difference between being informed and afraid. And I have most definitely gone over that a lot. So you want to be informed, but you don't want to be afraid. You want to try to stay positive. I can only speak for myself. During the pandemic, I did not go without at all. Every time I went to the store, something that I needed, it was always there. Other things were maybe bare, but anytime I went to go get toilet paper during the pandemic, it was there. Anytime I went to go get whatever, it was there. So I don't know if that's just dumb luck or if it is because I'm a positive person and I just trusted the universe. I know some of you don't believe in that, but how do you explain that I never went to the store and didn't find what I needed? Afterwards, like, it's something kind of stupid, but like last summer, Brandon and I couldn't find my favorite soda, which is Diet Mountain Dew. And we went to like 6 different Walmarts and we could not find it. And I was panicking, but that's not a need. That's just something that I enjoy having. But that was like a long time afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I've gone to the store and never had a situation where there wasn't something that I wanted. But during the pandemic, it didn't happen once. So I'm just saying. Also, we need to be practicing gratitude. So that means reducing your food waste as much as possible, making do with what you have, realizing, not just today, but always, how blessed you are. Blessed for your health, blessed for your loved one, your children, your pet that's your companion, a safe, warm home, food in the fridge, whatever it is that you are grateful for, say it. Even if it's just to yourself. It doesn't have to be to a higher power. It doesn't have to be to a person. It could just be to yourself. I am grateful. I have an abundant life. Words have power. So remember how blessed you are. That doesn't mean all your needs are always met at every second, but instead of thinking about what you might not get to have or you might be missing out on, try to focus on the things that you're blessed to have. Okay, so actually preparing for these kinds of things. So guys, it is not my responsibility and it is not your responsibility to stimulate the economy. If you do not have the money, you don't need to be going out to restaurants. You don't have to I never can say that word. Be a patron of, I know there's another word for it, but I can never say it. Movie theaters or restaurants or coffee shops, things like that. You don't have to go. Even if there is the money in the bank, even if you have a savings account, right now is not necessarily the time to be going out all the time. I would encourage you, if you are in a good financial situation, occasionally go out. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if you're accustomed to going out all the time, it would be really hard to just stop. Now, if you're in a really bad financial situation, then sorry, you just gotta stop. But all the extras kind of need to stop as much as possible. Yes, you want to have a few little luxuries, a few little things that are kind of in your normal routine. But why are we doing that? So that we can put it into savings or put it towards debt. Because if something does happen to your job, or if things get absorbently more expensive, you're going to have to pay for that somehow. So if you cut back on stuff and have a bigger savings account, or have no debt, then you'll have more money to kind of fall back on. We need to be buying only things that we need. If you got a fridge and freezer and pantry full of food, maybe you don't need to go grocery shopping this week. Maybe you get creative, see what you got in there and come up with new recipes. Google the ingredients that you have and come up with some new stuff. Be buying on clearance. I'm not just talking about food. I mean, in general, buying on clearance, buying on special, use your bonus cards. Go to the discount grocery stores, go to the thrift stores if you have to buy stuff. Check out Facebook groups that are free. People have this, they don't want it anymore, things like that. I know a few months ago my parents' church did like a free store. I don't exactly know what it was. It was essentially like a flea market, but everything on the tables was free, and it wasn't crap. It was like good stuff. So it's like, oh, well, these clothes don't fit me anymore. And then somebody could come in and you take what you need and you leave stuff that you don't need. And if you are not a member of a church, then maybe you could look into doing that in your community. Or if you are a member of some sort of church, you could present that to whoever you would present that to at the church. Those are all really good things. Just try to minimize spending. If you get an opportunity to maybe get some extra hours at work, or if you see some sort of opportunity like that, I'm not talking about like a get rich quick scheme or pyramid scheme. If people are messaging you on social media about a great opportunity, block them. I don't care if it's somebody you went to middle school with, block them. You know what I mean? Don't get involved in that, guys. But genuine money opportunities, such as extra hours, a part-time job, a small business, selling off items around your house. That is another thing that I've also discussed, is taking stuff that you don't need to a consignment store, have a yard sale, different things like that. Get some extra money. And this is not like because you're doing bad. It's just that stuff is cluttering your home, and it would be better to get it in cash. Especially if you go to a consignment store, because the stuff that you sell, you could then spend on stuff at the consignment store. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of is a wash. Like these clothes don't fit the kids anymore. We're going to take them to the consignment store, and then whatever money we make, that'll buy new clothes for the kids. Make do with what you got. Summer is here. I'm sorry, but you do not need another swimsuit. Use the one from last year. I guarantee it's fine. Now is not the time to be making big purchases. If your fridge is perfectly fine, baby girl, you're going to have to keep it for a while. If it broke, okay, I can see that, but don't try to break it on purpose. But things like that, really try to think about where your money is going, make budgets, just all the basic money saving tips. It is time. That is what I would suggest. That's what we're doing. But for us, it's pretty much business as usual, because we already kind of You know, we already have that mindset, but some of you might not. So everything is going to be fine. We got this. And try to stay informed and not afraid. Okay, guys? I hope that you got something out of this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, guys, bye.